Hello and welcome to this video. Most often, what do? We want to teach about emotions to our children. We want to teach that there are various emotions to the child. And yes, there are various board games, there are various worksheets, there are various put a tick mark against the child who is pleasant, put a cross mark against the child who is shouting. Yes, good manners, bad manners, all of these are available from outside. But where do you think the child is actually learning about emotions? Stay tuned till the end of the video. So the point is this: children learn everything about emotions just from their immediate family members, their parents, most majorly impacted by their parents. When that parent is bombarded by 20 different emotions from various places, from different corners around, and then maybe the parent is actually called out by four different people or five different people, how that parent responds at that time. Or maybe the parent was already being called by, say, three or four different people, and at that point of time, the parent is also struggling with the household work or the kitchen work or the office work, and at that point of time the child enters the room, and how that parent reacts to the child, that is where your child is learning about emotions, what kind of emotions people display, and how can I also be. Basically, you are modeling your child, right? Oh, sorry, your child models you, right? So when you are stressed and you are yelling, your child considers it to be the truth that when I'm angry or when I'm stressed, I can yell. That is the way I can just vent out everything, right? So the first point for you to understand is all the emotions, all the learning about emotions, the emotional intelligence, the emotional awareness, and whatever you wish to. I mean, EQ is a big thing, even in big companies. Actually, everything boils down to your EQ. Every conflict that two people have, two adults have, or every misunderstanding people have is stemming from just this thing that we are not aware of our emotions. We just say something, but we do not know why we have told that. If you agree, just type out AG in the chat box in the comment section. So, how you live your life boils in one aspect of a major aspect of how you live your life boils down to your emotional quotient. Another major aspect also is a spiritual quotient, which I'm not going to confuse you in this video, but let's focus on emotions in this video. So, and yeah, the point is this: you don't know what emotions are running inside of you. Maybe you're not aware of all your emotions at all points of time, but yes, out of goodwill, out of concern for your child, you want to teach emotional intelligence to your child or emotional awareness to your child, and you are looking out for various resources coming from outside. But how much justice can that resource do to your child, where your child is already learning everything from the way you are responding to your child? And let me also tell you this, that you need not create a separate class for emotional intelligence right when the child is maybe learning to do math, learning to do addition or subtraction or multiplication. The way you are speaking to your child, the way you are helping your child to do that, maybe your child uh, is just getting the wrong answer third time, fourth time, fifth time. How did you respond? What emotions were running inside of you which made you respond or which made you react in a disturbed manner? So along with the math class that the child is actually going through, if you actually called it as a math class, or the math homework which she's doing, she is also learning about emotions from you. How people respond when they are maybe looking at the wrong answer, maybe the third time or fourth time or fifth time or whatever it is. Yes, so the way you teach about emotions cannot be separated from living. The the child is learning about emotions even when the child has just woken up and you are maybe repeatedly reminding something to your child. Your child is learning about emotions when you are pushing the child to brush his or her teeth. The child is also learning about emotions when the child is again pushed, pulled, labeled, shamed, bribed, threatened, compared, criticized, complained about not having her breakfast at that point of time or not finishing the breakfast at that point of time. Yes, the child is actually learning about emotions at every moment that the child is with you and with every other person out there. But major impact comes from parents. Yes, so the So everything boils down to your emotional awareness. If you want your child to be aware of his or her emotions, to not just bash out when the child is angry, you should not be doing that when you are angry. The child to not yell at other people when the child is upset, you should not be doing that when you are upset. Yes, so if you wish your child to behave in a certain way, then you should also be doing that, and you need not teach that at that when you're doing it, when you are already doing it, when you are being that way, you need not teach that specifically to a child. Your child is already learning from the way you are dealing your emotions. Your child is already learning from the way you handle your anger. Your child is already learning from the way you are stressed out because of various other things, the maid, the house, the milkman, the newspaper, whatever it is, and how you respond to your child at 8 a.m. in the morning when your child is calling out to you repeatedly. That is where the emotional, what do you say, the learning, emotional, learning about all these emotions is already happening by your child's subconscious mind. And even if you make the child come and sit here and say, come on, let's learn about emotions from this worksheet, and in that worksheet, one boy is maybe yelling, one boy is shouting, and the other boy is calm. So put a tick mark where the boy is yelling, where the boy is shouting, shown as shouting. Oh, sorry, put a cross mark where the boy is shown as shouting because it's a bad thing to do, and put a tick mark when the boy is silent, when the boy is shown as to be having a pleasant face. But your child is already putting tick mark and cross mark in his or her mind through all the experiences that the child has been having all through the day, right? So how much sense does that worksheet make to the child when the child is actually just putting tick mark or cross mark just for the marks or just for the sake of doing homework, but the child's actual learning is taking place, is happening through how you are dealing with your own emotions. Yes. So maybe I actually looking at these worksheets, I'm not a big fan of these things. Just put a tick mark and cross mark. But we just had a conversation with children, and one of the children has actually pointed out that okay, the picture was a boy was actually frantically. The picture showed that he was banging on the door with all those strokes of lines. The boy was banging on the door, and the other boy was just standing at the door. So, which one is right? Do you bang? Do you yell? Do you shout? Do you make a huge hangama? Or do you just stay calm and do you just wait for whatever it is that you're waiting for? So, put a tick mark and put a cross mark. And what did the child, one of the children has actually beautifully pointed out that, Amma, maybe this boy is in a trouble. Maybe this boy is in some danger. And that is the reason this boy is hitting on the door. Yes. So, isn't it a valid reason for the child to actually hit on the door if the child is in danger? Maybe the child is on the road. The child found that door. Maybe he or she recognized that house, that door, and then the child went there and is hitting for somebody to open the door. Isn't it a valid reason? So can you just put boxes to all these actions saying this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, these are good manners, these are bad manners. Everything is situational. According to the situation is what anybody reacts or responds. And you are also doing the same, but with a little bit of unawareness on your own emotions. Yes, how you respond, how you react is also situational, but let me just tell you this. But and that is what the child is also learning, that the child is also learning that how we react is situational. Yes, but one little thing is that you are not completely aware of why you reacted the way you reacted at that point of time. Let me also give you a beautiful example of how children actually understand that all these emotions the adults display are situational. There was a 5-year-old. The 5-year-old, there's a person A, there's a person B. The situation is same. The outside situation is a scenario. The scenario is same. The scenario is same that the person A is waiting for meal to be served. That's the scenario. Okay. So yesterday when person A was waiting and for the meal, person A did not shout. The 5-year-old was actually pointing this out to me. But today, when person A was actually called out for meal and the person A is waiting, he is shouting. So sometimes person A shouts for the meal, sometimes person A doesn't shout for the meal, is what the child understood. So yes, shouting, yelling, everything is situational. Nothing wrong about it, right? Do not beat up yourself. You react based according to how the situation was and how you are actually going through whatever you've been going through. So yes, we had a conversation regarding that event, that scenario, and there were beautiful statements, beautiful realizations, beautiful understandings by both the adult and the child, saying yes, sometimes maybe the person A was upset, maybe person A is hungry, maybe person A is upset, maybe person A is disappointed. So these are all things which could be disturbing, and then if something doesn't go, I mean, you've been saying, and sometimes you just hear. But again, how else could you how else could you tell it? I mean, what are the other means of saying it, by not resorting to yell? So we had all this beautiful, very long conversation. That's all kept aside. So basically, through conversation, you are also exposing your child to those situational scenarios where each one may need to react in a certain way, but still you can resort to other gentler things, other gentler responses, than yelling. That is one thing. And another thing which I've just mentioned to you, that yes, the way you react also is situational. You need not beat up yourself. Yes, you are stressed. Yes, you have your own practical challenges. Yes, you are maybe frustrated because of that, or whatever the traffic or whatever it is, you are outside and you got stuck in traffic. Yes, you have your own reasons, dear parent. Do not beat up yourself. Do not put boxes around you that, oh my god, I shouldn't get angry today, but something happens, you yell at your child, and towards the end, oh my god, I didn't want to get angry, but again I got angry, right? So do not beat up yourself, do not box yourself into these categories, into these labels. Now, yes, there are there are practical challenges. You are also going through various emotions, but so just imagine you are in your kitchen work. You are in your kitchen work, and you just started doing something in the kitchen, and your child has entered, and you had some kind of disturbed reaction towards your child. But yes, it is situational. It is like whatever you've been through, you are already tired, you are already irritated, you are already frustrated, you are already, something that has happened to you has happened. But at that point of time, when you've yelled, or maybe a moment later after you have yelled, do you actually know what was the emotion running inside of you which made you yell? That is the emotional awareness which I'm trying to communicate to you, dear parent. Were you helpless in the kitchen? Why did you have to do a lot of things and you were just helpless, and hence you just put it out through yelling towards your child? Were you irritated because of something that has happened, outside, maybe on the road with your friend or with your somebody, some known person, some unknown person? Were you irritated and that is the reason you yelled at your child? Or were you frustrated because you just had a heated conversation with another family member, or with something in your office with a colleague? You just had a heated conversation, and you just frustrated with all that has happened, and hence you yelled at your child? Or were you disappointed because of something that has not happened at that point of time, and that is the reason you were just upset and you yelled at your child? Or were you angry because of something? Maybe because of something, because of somebody, because of your child, whatever it is. Were you angry? That is the reason you yelled at your child? Or maybe were you just feeling low at that point of time? Sometimes emotions keep going low, right? Were you just feeling low at that point of time, and that is the reason you yelled at your child? So, what was the emotion inside of you which made you yell at your child? That is a that is a number one. That is a number one prerequisite for you to be aware of your emotions, right? Yes, yelling is not pleasant. Let's not say good or bad, but you don't feel happy after you have yelled. Either the receiver or the doer or the receiver, both of them, they're not happy when yelling has happened between any two people. Either the doer or receiver are not happy. Let's not focus on I'll make you stop yelling in 1 second or overnight. No, it's not about that. Whatever has happened, but can you just come into an emotional awareness with your own self, that what was going on inside of me which made me yell or which made me have that disturbed reaction towards my child? Just one thing. I mean, just one question that you got to ask at that point of time. Can you do that? Yes, just bring up any earlier conflicts that you had with your child, or in the next 24 hours, obviously you will be having another conflict with your child. I mean, having conflicting ideas between people, among people, is not. I mean, it's not bad. It's normal. It's natural. Every human is unique, so we do have conflicting ideas among people. More specifically, between a parent and a child, there are conflicting ideas. So, how do you react at that point of time? Or even if you have reacted at that moment, but just go within, go deeper into yourself and check what was that emotion running inside of me which made me react in this particular manner, in such and such negative manner. What was that? Just just bring it out, just let it out. Otherwise what happens? You are still carrying that unresolved emotion inside of you. You're not being aware that you are carrying that, and that is making you react in a negative way. The more aware you are of, okay, yes, I was irritated, and okay, this has happened and I was irritated, so now you are aware. Now you no more want your, is you are irritated, that is right, but you are in control of, you no more want your irritation to determine your response to your child. You will be in a better control of doing this, that your response to your child does not determine on the emotion, on the unresolved emotion that you are carrying inside of you. That is when you will be able to respond better. That is when you will be able to see the picture clearly, that okay, this has happened, yes it has happened, yes I am angry at somebody else, but do I want to talk to my child, or do I want to respond to my child basing my reaction on this anger? Do I allow this anger to affect the relationship between me and my child? Do I want to do this? I do not want to affect, I do not want my emotions to control me. Yes, you will have your own revelations. So just be with it in the next 24 hours. Just look into that particular emotion, that specific emotion, which which makes you have a disturbed negative reaction. And that is where the whole the vast syllabus of emotional intelligence starts with emotional awareness. And once you are getting a hang of it, that is how your child is also learning about how to deal with emotions from you. It is not from worksheets, it is not from stories, it is not from board games. Yes, you can provide stories, you can provide board games, you can provide worksheets and but all these are additional resources that you provide. The major impact is already being happened from the parent, from the experiences that the child has with the parent. Happy parenting. Cheers. Bye bye.